All right, welcome into the Dynamo post-match show here from Shell Energy Stadium. YouTube Soccer Matters. If you're clicking on here tonight, well, we would love for you to subscribe to the channel. We put differing content over there as well. So let's get into this tonight. What a comeback victory for the Houston Dynamo tonight at Shell Energy Stadium. Very interesting night actually out here. Dynamo starting lineup included 4 changes. It was a return of Eric Sviatchenko, Coco Carrasquilla, Amin Bassi, and Sebas Ferreira. We all knew, and we said this in the pre-match show, and we hope you took in the pre-match show because we tipped you off to a couple things about San Jose that absolutely came to fruition. We said they were going to come out very aggressive. That's what they do on the road. They did. They earn a corner. Perfectly executed. Christian Espinosa whips it in, and it's headed in by Wilson in the second minute. So the Dynamo give up their ever-important first goal. 34th minute, red card to Preston Judge. Obvious elbow. That came on Eric Sviatchenko. This guy was looking to get sent off, basically, and it then made San Jose drop off into a deep low block defending, which the Dynamo had trouble with. 3 straight wins for the Dynamo now. They now sit at 3-1-1 in MLS. They now have 10 points. And, to be doing this without Hector Herrera, you got to be very, very happy. They have found ways to win. It's the same thing we saw last year. Sebas Ferreira would tie it up in the 81st minute. What a liberating moment for the Dynamo striker. Liberating. Got loaned out to Vasco da Gama. Didn't, depending on who you talk to, when he first came under the Ben Olsen regime, didn't seem to be the type of striker Ben Olsen wanted. Didn't seem to work enough off the ball when the ball was lost. Went to Vasco, didn't score a goal down there in Brazil. Came back to the Dynamo, came in fitter, pulled his hamstring, got back on against Colorado, had the game-winning assist, and tonight got, the tying goal tonight. And the type of goal he got tonight was a striker's goal. Quick turn, quick finish. Really happy for him. The sad thing is he goes off injured. Then in the 85th minute, only 4 minutes later, Franco Escobar, after an initial great save from William Yarborough, man, he had to squeeze this in at the near post, hit it with great power. The Argentine gets the game winner. The Dynamo managed the game out well. Second ejection comes to Jackson Ewell. He gets sent off 90 plus 5 here tonight with 10 minutes of stoppage time added. So there you go. Man of the match for you tonight. Who would it be? Escobar, Sebas Ferreira, Coco Carrasquilla, Artur, or anyone else you want to write in? Amin Bassi had a decent game as well. So Justin Finger joining me now. All right. So you got something to say about the game here tonight? Let us know. Justin, why don't you read off some of the data here, if you'd like. 15 shots to 2 for the Dynamo. I'll do it. 8 shots on target, 2 shots on target for San Jose. 81% of the possession for the Houston Dynamo tonight here. I mean, this was pretty bizarre. At times you'd look up and maybe from 30 yards in, every single player on the field would be in that area. Pretty bizarre. 39 crosses for the Dynamo to 7 for San Jose. That sounds like inflated to me. I know the Dynamo got a lot of crosses, but they've struggled because they didn't get any width. And the key moment in the second half was Ben Olsen and staff bringing on Brad Smith. They pushed him high on the left. Within a matter of 3 minutes, he's gotten 2 good crosses in. He's got 1 big hit that was saved by William Yarborough. They moved Griffin Dorsey higher on the right. They put Escobar on the right. And really just sat Mikael as the deepest guy. So this was a great tactical change. We were saying before this, a good bit before this, that the Dynamo needed width. It wasn't going to happen 1-2 and their way right down the heart of San Jose. They were playing right into it. So some additional width opened other things up, brought additional possibility, and that made it a bit of a struggle then for San Jose. And once they went down 2 goals, they had no legs. Absolutely no legs. Couldn't get pressure on the ball. The Bobasi was a non-factor off the bench as well. All right, what do you got to say about that?
In the pregame show, we talked about Espinosa and how the Dynamo have to work on shutting him down tonight. How do you think they fared on that? Given really he was low on the team in touches. He did get the assist.
That all plays into the night. He made the one play he needed to make. I think the disappointment for the Dynamo tonight, if we're going to talk real soccer here, and I think Ben Olsen would have been disappointed that they were not prepared for the opening kickoff, the high-pressing game that we all knew was going to come from San Jose. We said it 3 times in the pregame show. We said it at the start of the game. You knew it was coming. They did it against Seattle to get a 2-0 lead. It happened. You weren't prepared. You give up a corner. It's a perfectly executed corner. It's a tremendously whipped-in ball from Espinosa. But then once the sending off occurs, that neuters Espinosa. And honestly, they did not have any good transitional moments tonight here. They had nothing through him. They had nothing through Kikanovic. They didn't even get a decent chance or two. You normally get a decent chance or two in transition on the counter when you go into low block defending. They didn't get anything. No. So for them to really think that they were going to see this out, I think it's a long shot. You got nothing in transition. I think that's something that Luchi Gonzalez will look at. Chris Flores says, I doubted the Dynamo tonight. Noah the Nerd, were you scared going into the second half? It's only a soccer game. I'm not scared. I'm more scared going home tonight in Houston than I am on a second half. But I think, Noah, the question was, and you bring up a good point, I'm being a wise guy here, but I think the question was, can they create chances? Dynamo don't have a lot of 2-goal matches to their credit. They got one tonight here. They don't have a legitimate goal scorer. Maybe that's going to be unlocked now with Sebas Ferreira scoring. They get an 81st minute goal. But the amount of pressure that San Jose had to absorb, that's it. 2 red cards for them tonight. Vicente, the team showed they can overcome challenges on the go. They had not scored 2 goals in an MLS game so far. Yes, that's the point we had made. And we knew once they went down 1-0, they were going to have to score 2 goals here to win the game. And it's at home. Chris Flores, Franco and Artur both deserve the man of the match. Blazin' Goku 2.0. The team needs to be more confident shooting. Yeah, I think that's a good point. We made that on the game call. I made that on the game call. I've made that all year long, that the Dynamo have the tendency to overpass it. Now, that's partially because of the makeup of the individuals. They're not used to being shooters. They're not used to being goal scorers. I think that's where you can get Sebas Ferreira unlocked a bit. But I do think Kowalczyk, Bassi, even Artur, Coco bypass too many shots. And honestly, the other thing is they don't even have to score off him. It pulls defenses out. It shows you that you have that possibility. And if you don't show that to another team, then they don't honor it. So I really think that's something that is a good point out by you, Blazin, and I think that's something we've all been seeing game after game here. Team getting healthier, looking better. Question is, full healthy, does this attack look much better with HH? I think it's the same thing. If you get HH coming back the same as last year, the big question, even in the playoffs, yes, they found ways to win, and maybe I have to just come on board with that you can win without a natural goal scorer. But I think Sebas Ferreira going off injured tonight, that's a bit of a worry. But like things get better with Coke, well, things are going to get better with Hector Herrera. Noah the Nerd, haha. No, I made you laugh, huh? Cheap humor here. We always get that on the Dynamo postgame show here on YouTube Soccer Matters. Diego Rodriguez, Glenn, is Sebas back? Well, small sample size, but I think in 2 games he's made 2 critical plays. He's been part of 2 of the 3 last goals. He may not be back if he's injured. Now that's the worry, I think, Mr. Rodriguez. Is that Dago or Diego? Dago. That could be construed in a lot of ways, especially if you're from the East Coast. Noah the Nerd says Sebas Ferreira's back. Sound is super low on YouTube.
I just raised it a little bit.
Have we clicked that? Thank you for that, Russian. You want to read a few of these?
Let's see. Sebas had a big sacrifice. Fortunately, had a big price with his goal.
So, look, I think we should think about that goal. Tight space, quick turn. It's a goal scorer's type of goal. It's the type of goal we don't get out of the number 9 position. We got it tonight from him. I still believe our wingers need to be more creative and danger. Yes, and they need to bring width. I think part of the problem is you didn't have enough width. And I even think that Griffin Dorsey at times got a bit narrow. You need more crosses to be mixed in there. Can't be all combination play all the time. They played right into it. Brad Smith came on, got 2 crosses in right away. All of a sudden, things look dangerous.
You said that on the broadcast, too. The whole,
bunch of times. We said that way before the change was made because it was so evident to see. And you know what? Our position here to see things is better than it is from the bench a lot of times, although the Dynamo have people up top looking down. But if you ever sat at a bench at a soccer game and you look, perception and depth, it doesn't look the same, even from our vantage point here in the booth. What else we got?
I got one for you. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share this video. We talk about it every post-game show now. The more views, the more likes, the more clicks, the more everything, the more this show gets out there, the better the numbers get, the more content we can provide for you guys.
Yeah, like I said at the end of the last show last week, I mean, you guys got to rally me now. I need a push from you guys. I really need a push. This kind of talk here, this is what gets me going. This is my lifeblood. Same thing on Soccer Matters. You guys know soccer. Start calling into the show. Debate, bring opinion, challenge the Dynamo, applaud the Dynamo. Do all those things we do. Sebas was never gone, said Chris. He just needs good service. No question. I mean, if you are going to make him work, you have to make him work with service. He's that kind of center forward. On the other hand, he was gone. He went to Brazil, and he was gone. So let's hope he's back now. Jeff Strong, Dynamo need another goal scorer to allow Sebas enough time to get healthy and fit, else he'll be injured all season long. I hope not, because if he's injured all season long, Jeff, that means he's not durable and injury prone. He got through the 2022 season with 13 goals pretty good, so let's hope he's not injured again. That was not happy thing to see.
I think that's what I'm most excited for, is to see him healthy with a healthy Hector Herrera and see what this team looks like moving forward.
Noah, tell me what this means. Are we going to call off construction on the new Dynamo player-specific wing? Whoa, I got it. Okay, sorry, Noah. Noah comes back with I tried a little comedy. Noah comes back and tops it. Alan Gordon, Soccer Matters. I love that, Alan. Tell me that. I go home a happy man.
He's a Quakes fan. He turns into Soccer Matters every week.
Alan, that's awesome. We love and welcome in the Quakes. By the way, 50th anniversary of the San Jose Earthquakes. In fact, in the 80s when I was on the Houston Dynamos with an S, we played them in a UNICEF game. And Pelé came and brought the game ball in via helicopter. And the Earthquakes were the team we played. Dogo from Dagberto. Oh, Dagoberto. Okay. There you go. Pronunciation. Yes, I know that about Italy. I know that. A lot of Italians on the East Coast where I grew up. Yep. Vicente, concerned about Ferreira. Seemed to be limping. Yeah, we are. No, he limped off. I don't think that was anything about killing time. Sebas is out for another extended period. Should have changed Pat's decision on the window. Well, they've been trying to get some players over the finish line. Doesn't look like it's happening. Ben Olsen did say to me that they were close on 2 guys. We've heard some things. I think that 19-year-old Venezuelan striker, there's nothing real about that from my understanding and my sources. Appreciate Alan coming in from San Jose. Alan, did you listen to our call on the local call? I hope you did. But if not, we're not going to hold it against you. Can't have the Dynamo without the Quakes. There's no question. We remember that was San Jose relocated to Houston. That was really rough on San Jose. Fortunately, they got their team and then their stadium. Same thing happened in Columbus as well. I mean, these are common tendencies. It forces people. New owners come in. Noah is now playing doctor. He says he thinks Sebas will only be out for 2 weeks at most. Noah, I have no idea. Speculation on injury is not good. But let's hope it's even less than that. What else we got? Come on, guys.
Rifle off some
do
scores.
All
right. The early matchup today: Philadelphia taking a 2-0 win over Minnesota. Colorado being a shorthanded LAFC team 3-2. Charlotte FC Cincinnati draw 1-1. DC United 1-0 winners over CF Montreal. Inter Miami and Suarez draw 1-1 versus NYCFC. Orlando 1-1 over New York Red Bulls. Toronto, the lowly Toronto SC, losing at home 1-3 against Sporting Kansas City. Austin FC beating FC Dallas 2-1. Nashville SC 2-2 draw over Columbus. Currently in the 67th minute. Salt Lake's down at home to St. Louis City 1-0. LA Galaxy up 1-0 over Seattle Sounders in the 25th. And Vancouver's up 1-0 over Portland Timbers. Let's go to the Dash really quick. Dash are down right now at halftime over Bay FC 1-0.
Yeah, so that's got a little bit of a San Jose tone to it. So Alan, who's the Quakes fan, says he lives in Dallas. Alan, don't let me see you at an FC Dallas game, okay? That's number one. Number two, Kevin Kelsey. I just mentioned that, Dagberto. That's a rumor. There's a lot of stuff that gets put out, and we all get very excited about it. But a lot of times agents are prodding people to put these things out to make and try to generate interest. It's really hard to believe anything on social media these days. So that one, I was told straight from the horse's mouth. I went and asked the Dynamo general manager, Pat Onstad, because that's what I do. He said, nope, that was never a consideration. Cincinnati, I think, was one that was looking into him. Dynamo history reminded us on Twitter, anniversary 3/30/13. Dynamo beat Quakes 2-0. Okay, that's interesting. Kyle, we're top of the table. Yeah, the incredible fight and togetherness is a really good thing to point out here. And, you look at tonight and you go, you get goals from unlikely sources. I mean, Sebas, I think, can be the goal scorer for this team. If he stays fit, he seems to be buying into Ben Olsen. Ben seems to be happy with him. I think he can be the goal scorer. He's going to have to get a better wide game. The Dynamo have to continue to pursue another high-end attacker. Because you do want to ultimately make things a little bit easier for yourself, right? There's games, if you have people that can finish and be efficient, can be easier. That doesn't have to be a 90-minute struggle. Can 4 or 5 times over the course of the season allow you to win games with a little less stress and duress, which then, from an overall standpoint of freshness, can help you.
You got a good one from Dylan there. How big is the win now? How big is the win at Colorado now compared to the tie they perhaps were prepared to take at the end of the match? We're now sitting 4th on the table.
Oh, that was a big moment. I mean, yeah. that was a huge moment to get that goal. That was a very tough watch. It was a tough game. It was a makeshift lineup. It was all about defending, but to get that one play at the end of the game and steal those points, tag it with another 3. I mean, this is how quickly it can all change in MLS, right? Anytime during the season, whether it's the middle third, the final phase of the year, you win 2 games in a row, 3 games in a row, generally you bump up a couple spots in the standings. So this is good.
Jose Juarez, Glenn, do we have a chance against Chicago and Minnesota in the next 2 matches?
I think so. Why not?
My next follow-up to that would be, what would be best case scenario? What would you like to see on the road from against those 2 against those 2 clubs?
I think you want to take points out of it. I think at a minimum you want 3 points out of the 2 games.
Yeah.
Chicago and Minnesota, both winnable. That'll be interesting to see how Ben Olsen approaches. By the way, the Dynamo are 1-0 on the road.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's important, and it's important to get these home wins and get back on track at home here tonight. Crowd wasn't a big crowd, if we're being real honest, but we will say they are always very vocal. They're always very engaged what's here, but we want more. This should be a sellout every single game. By the way, don't forget, Monday and Wednesday, 6 o'clock Central Time. I'm pretty proud to say that we are in Drive Home. I don't think there's any other radio show that's purely a soccer program around the country in any market that's on at 6 o'clock at Drive Home, and especially in a market as large as Houston. And we got soccer fans from all over the world.
There's here. A good one. Forgive me for pronouncing your name wrong. Rashawn, what do you think Ben should work on next week based on today's performance?
What should Ben work on? Well, I think the big thing to me, if you're looking at pros and cons, the con would be the start to the game tonight. you got to come out sharper against San Jose. You knew it was coming. Sometimes we wonder why that happens. But I think the big thing is the mental focus from the kickoff tonight, because you put yourself behind the 8 ball, and when you're not a team that's scoring a lot of goals, you don't want to fall behind. It's a tactic changing type goal. It allowed them to sit back deeper, which they were doing even after they got the 1-goal lead, playing for transition. The other big thing I think this week will be finding out how serious the injury is to Sebas Ferreira, and then Hector, supposedly. Sources tell me it's Austin FC. That's the target, April 20th. That's closer than we think.
With the injury concerns, what do you make of Eric coming out? Is it something or nothing to consider, considering Bartlow's good run of play so far this season?
Well, I think Eric is always coming back into the lineup, because I think Eric's experience is something that's you really have to put a circle around that signing last year. As much as we talk about Herrera's MVP-like performance, and the combination with him and Artur, just such an amazing axis in midfield, you have to really go to Eric Sviatchenko as being a huge signing by the Dynamo organization. Very tough on Ethan Bartlow. This is professional sports. If you heard my interview with Ethan Bartlow recently, we talked about that. I said, how tough is that when you know you're playing well, you're a part, this guy was just a part of 2 wins for the Dynamo. Usually here, well, when you win, you don't change the starting lineup. Sviatchenko right back in there. It's tough on Bartlow. But Bartlow's got to bring it every day in training. He said that. He's a mature young man. He's played well. If you haven't heard that interview, you'll learn a lot about him and how mature he is, and that he's a very good signing for the future for the Dynamo. Matthew White. All right, we got a new one here in Matthew. Yeah, disappointed they weren't prepared for the early pressure. So was I, because, we said this over and over in the pregame show, but I went back and watched their last road game to see what occurred, and they came out storming against Sporting and did the same thing and looked very, very good. I think Ben Olsen would tell you, I'm not speaking for him, but I think he'd tell you Bartlow's played very well, and it's resources and riches at the center back position. You call that a champagne problem. But yeah, being prepared, important. The Dynamo are going to be in every game. They're an excellent defending team collectively. Their attack to me is way too narrow at times. I would like to see it widened out. I think that's going to be a big key for Sebas as well. That could also be changed with a differing type of striker, or a wide player or an attacking player. My opinion, the starting center backs are the ones that started tonight. Sviatchenko and Mikhail.
We got one.
Latif. Nothing from Latif Blessing yet.
Do you think Blessing would have been subbed in? Should have been subbed in. Bossy did not look in top shape tonight.
I don't know. I think Bossy's rounded into shape. I was surprised that Blessing hasn't played the last 2 games based on the amount of people injured and out and some of the challenges. Noah, your comedy's going too far. I'm going to gong you on this one. You're bringing up the UEFA Champions League, which is in action next week. By the way, you can't miss that. You get a gong for that one, Noah. That's too many times to the well with your comedy.
What's funny is you can, being a moderator, you can actually put a commenter in timeout on here.
Yeah, saw that handball in the 82nd minute, Kyle, and I've seen that called. I've seen it not called. So toss the flip of the coin. I thought they may call it when they went to the VAR.
Well, with the poll question, who's your man of the match so far? Everybody's picked Sebas Ferreira. Who, Glenn, is yours tonight?
Hold on, I'm going to answer Vicente's question before I get to that. Vicente said he would have liked to see Gregos go inside the box before the game was tight. There's nowhere to go. There's too many people in there, Vicente. Scott McTominay comes from deep for Manchester United when there's a bit of room. There was nothing in there. And that's why I go back to the wide game, and you alluded to the wide game before. I think there's a fitness issue with Blessing. Not to my knowledge. I don't know. Could be. Okay, so you were saying man of the match?
Yeah.
I think a couple people could. I'm gonna pick Sebas simply because it was a liberating, important goal for him. Not that Franco Escobar didn't play great. I just think that, for a guy that we all have a lot of hopes on, for a team that struggles to score goals, that was a really liberating one. I was so happy to see him score. Again, I'll take you back to when Tab Ramos was the coach and he had 13. That was a team that didn't get to create a lot of chances. That was a roster that was nowhere near as good as this one. And he scored 13 goals. Okay, because there was more of a wide game then. So if he gets the right blend of a wide game, he'll score goals as long as he stays healthy. Arsenal, Man City tomorrow. Man City at home. You want to know something, Dylan? If you go look at Man City's results against some of the top teams like Arsenal, Liverpool, they're not very good. They've tied a lot of games. They've got some problems coming back from England with John Stones with an injury. Somebody else also got hurt. I don't think it was Phil Foden, but two guys. Oh, Kyle Walker. So they got two guys coming back injured. That's can't miss watching tomorrow though, and we will definitely recap that along with the Dynamo on Monday, Soccer Matters, and Wednesday as well. All right, guys, we got any other good ones here before we go? When are we going to get you a Champagne Problem T-shirt? I love that. Oh, you spoke about T-shirts. Money goes to cancer treatment. I like that. Come up with that. With you got a champagne problem. Somebody make that for me. I think that would be a big honoring for me. A face, and a champagne problem T-shirt.
I think the only other tagline that I've heard, I've been doing this with you now, 4 years?
Yeah.
Is he's shot out of a cannon. Yeah. It's a regular thing.
You got a champagne problem. A champagne problem is a good thing. Speaking of money for children's cancer treatment, guys, if you want the Soccer Matters T-shirt in orange and black, it pops. They got more of them in stock now. It's lamontbrands.com. I would love for you to pick one of those up, but I would love to see that champagne problem T-shirt come to fruition. That's a challenge I've given Chris Flores right now. But lamontbrands.com for the T-shirts and hats. We got a lot of red ones now there in stock, and we got orange. So if you buy them, they're only $20. By the way, I made sure it's the best type of cotton you can get. So it's light. It's not like cardboard. You'll love wearing it. LamontBrands.com. It's only $20. Rodrigo Munoz with Fulham. I haven't been watching Fulham enough. I probably should. Chris, I think they took a bad loss today. Did they? Or did that end up a draw? I'm not sure. David Kerr, will the slow start again? I don't know. How to fix it? I mean, all you can do is point it out to your team. It's always a mystery to me how teams don't come out from the opening whistle. And a lot of times, even teams that are going to be in a mid-block or defend deep, coaches will put them out in a high press just to mentally get them engaged. Any news about the DP or under 23 signings? Nothing yet. If I had it, I'd give it to you like he shot out a cannon, Kyle. Winger opposite Aliou and Bassi. Yeah, I thought it was very congested. And I love the fact that the Dynamo have brought a combination play type game now, but I think it's overpassed at times. I think it's too straight down the gut. You got to get penetration. It was very difficult tonight, though, to the Dynamo's credit and for the challenge, because these guys didn't even expose themselves on the counterattack much, right? I mean, you didn't even look up and go, wow, there's a moment to really go quicker because they've been pulled out of shape. They just didn't move out. I took video of it during the game while I was calling the game. I'm going to post it. You will not believe how condensed this game is when you see this picture. Yeah, their goal was a good one, Vicente. I mean, that delivery, that's the type of delivery you need, because all you have to do is get a head on it. The pace is in the delivery. Those are the types of balls I used to love to attack as a center back myself when I got forward on set pieces and corners, because you only have to make contact and redirect it. Pace needs to be faster. I think David means moving the ball a little bit quicker. Yeah, but these guys never moved out of there. How soon till I recover? Jeff, here's my update. I am 50% weight bearing now. As you know, in the 80s, playing on artificial surface, It was laid a lot of time over concrete, Pontiac Silverdome, places like that. Dallas, when we played in Dallas. And it, you know, for a 21 or a 22-year-old kid or 23, you're not thinking about any of this stuff. So I have a partial knee replacement. I have a hip replacement, and now I had have no idea when it happened. I got out of bed one morning and I go, there is something wrong with my knee. And they wanted to do, I kept telling them, I said, guys, it's my meniscus. I know. Oh, no, we got to do x-rays first. You know, they put you through all the stuff first. Of course, when we finally did the MRI, it was pulled off the bone. So hopefully in 7 weeks. I'm trying to be on my feet for the April 28th Rolling Stones at Energy Stadium. So I'm going to be in the pit.
4 weeks in now? 5?
Little over 4. Yeah. A little over 4. Okay. Chris says Griff seemed quieter tonight. You know, look, he played the game very high up the field, but again, to San Jose, they didn't give him a lot of room. I would have liked to have seen him not be as narrow at times and get out to the touchline more to pull them out. But of course, it's real easy to say from a TV booth, right? Did you notice anything from? No, I just noticed a ton of numbers behind the ball. He couldn't really find a lot of space. There was no space to get behind because they didn't give you anything behind. Best of luck on the recovery. That's very nice of you, Jeff. Actually, I got 2 friends who have got a lot more serious things going on with me than me. My great friend Bill Land, and he won't mind me saying this as a San Antonio Spurs play-by-play, started in '96 with him, doing Dallas Burn in the initial year of MLS. He's battling cancer, and he's fighting the good fight. So there's no woe is me on my end here. I do want to get off crutches, though. The weather's been so nice, I want to get out there. Anybody got anything else? We'll take a couple more quick ones. Then we're going to call it a night. We're going to remind you, right? Monday night, Wednesday night, 6 o'clock Central, Soccer Matters. This guy here, Justin Finger, does great work. The guy in the back is David Obert. He's our sound man. I've been working for him for many years. Take a wave, David. These are the unsung heroes, really, for all this.
And Guillermo, with all the stuff.
Guillermo Lazo Romero. Let's not forget him. Does all the videos, produces the radio show. Big shout out to Guillermo Lazo Romero as well. Thank you for reminding me. There's a lot of people who do a lot of good things.
Don't forget, we'll do pre-match pending. Should be doing pre-match for the Austin FC match.
No, will be. Yeah. Not should be. What should be? This guy can't leave for that game. So I told him, you got to be a champion. You got to feel like a champion. By the way, Vicente, I'll see you at the Stones. Taking your father there would be an amazing surprise from a son. That's an awesome thing. Controversial take, Kyle. I like controversy. I like what Kowalczyk brings right now over what Bassi. Okay. He had 4 very, very good games. And I think he made us a big believer. He kind of parried off. I mean, Bassi technically is in there because he can do it in small spaces like him. Chris Scoggins likes what Kyle says. He wants Kowalczyk as well. Kowalczyk tapered off the last 2 games, but I think there's real competition for that. And once Hector gets back, you know, you got more depth in midfield and in those positions. All right, guys, I think we'll shut it down. Happy Easter to everybody. Guys, you're turning the show into something a lot more interesting. Champagne problems are good problems. Champagne on Easter Sunday is not a bad thing either. Important holiday for all of us. So I hope everybody has a great time with their family and friends. There's that great game in the morning, as you guys know, between Arsenal and Manchester City. So we'll definitely be there. Pre-match is challenging since we are on the stadium. Yeah. I understand that. I'm going to keep doing it, though, just to give you some things to look for. And look, tonight we gave it to you. We said San Jose is going to come out, right? You want the first goal against them. You got to match their energy. The Dynamo didn't. And we also told you they're a little bit of a different team. But, you know, once they had the sending off, that changed the entire night. Good night to everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming on. It makes it really very exciting for me that we're getting the feedback from all of you guys. And make sure you keep giving that, not only to me, but anywhere else you want to give it. And have a great Easter Sunday. Thank you very much.